Here we go. Hey, what's up you guys? It is Victoria, back again for another video, and today I have something quite interesting to tell you guys. As you can tell by the title, it is a story time video. Yeah, I am excited to tell you guys, but I'm a little bit iffy because it's such a personal story to me that it's a little bit tough to tell. So apologies if I get a little flustered or whatever about it, but just forgive me. So basically, back a few years ago, I had my very first boyfriend. We were very serious. We met and fell in love, or whatever you want to call it. And basically, he was not the best to me. He was not treating me 100%. I wasn't always happy. And I went through a really hard time in my life when I was with him. And pretty much that kind of sums it up about the relationship. Like, I wasn't 110% happy, but we were together. You know, I was trying to, you know, make the best of it and make the best of him, because he was just, he tried for me. It just, I don't know if it worked. Anyway, basically we decided to go on a cruise with my mom. Now, if you don't know this about me, then you know that I get really seasick. So basically I stayed in the higher class part of the boat, the middle boat, where it doesn't shake as much. It doesn't have as much like motion sickness when you stay in the middle of the boat. Just a fun fact, so you guys know that for later in the story. We got our stuff together, we put it all on the cruise ship once we'd gotten there. It was amazing, and I'm very individualized, and I like to be alone a lot of the time. So I decided to walk around the boat alone, kind of get my bearings, you know, and understand where I was and stuff, and just see what was going on the cruise ship. I went out to where you could see just all of the water, and it was really beautiful, and I just kind of had to take a minute to breathe because I was going through such a hard time. You know, I rested my arms on the side of the boat, and I'll be honest, like, it was a tough time in my life, and I thought about jumping. It was scary, and basically I was up on like the sides of the rails, and I was gonna jump, but basically I heard this person kind of yell-ish to me, and he was like, "Hey, wait, no, what are you doing?" And this guy came up, and he was basically like, "What's going on? Like, why are you jumping?" and this and that. And meanwhile, we're talking, and honestly, I'd never felt such a click with somebody right away. Like, he saved my life. I mean, I was about to jump after he had saved me, and I don't really want to get into detail about that part because it was emotional for me. And as we were talking, my boyfriend walks up and is like, "Hey, what's going on here? Like, why are you guys talking? What is happening?" Like, he was ticked off that I was talking to this other guy while on a cruise with him. To hide the whole story of the fact that I was going to jump, because I didn't want to tell my boyfriend that, just because it was such a weird relationship that I just didn't want to tell him. I didn't feel comfortable with it. I didn't need to. I didn't want to. So basically, I told him in front of the guy that I just like instantly clicked with. I just said, like, "Don't worry, like, I was about to slip and he caught me." And so I told him sort of the truth, sort of bended the truth a little bit, and just said that I was about to slip and that he caught me and that we were just getting to talking. So, skip ahead a little bit, I wanted to reward the guy that saved me. Basically, I invited him to dinner with my family at the nice dinner that we were having that night because we were in the middle class. He happened to be in the lower class part of the boat just because he was in the lower class part of the boat, I guess. And so we went to dinner, and it was an amazing dinner. I had never clicked with anybody so much in my life. It was just so much fun. The whole time my boyfriend was ticked off. He was just livid, even though he knew that my life was saved, which doesn't make sense to me to this day, but whatever. Moving on. Basically, in the middle of this dinner, I was passed a note from the guy that saved me. And just, if you're wondering why I keep on saying the guy, my boyfriend, I don't want to put out any names. Like, that's invading privacy, I think. I mean, the story's giving her enough privacy as it is, so I'm just keeping names off the table. Anyway, back to the story. Yeah, so basically he hands me this note and he says that there's a party down in his part of the boat later, and do I want to go to it? So I did want to go to it because I'm like, this guy is amazing, like he saved my life, he and I are clicking, we're getting to talking, we have a lot of things in common, and he was artistic, and he was honestly really attractive. And pretty much we snuck off after the dinner, and I went down to this party and I had the time of my life. I had never had so much fun. We danced to music and it was just a blast. I just never had that much fun in my life. And basically, I didn't think about anything else the entire time that I was down there, except for how much fun I was having with this guy. The night escalated very quickly, and after the party, we basically found ourselves in an old car in the bottom of the boat. We snuck down there and, you know, we made out a little bit, we got a little handsy, you know, like things happened. It was amazing though. I can't explain it. It was amazing. And the next morning, I didn't spend the night in the car, but the next morning my boyfriend was very curious as to where I was the whole night. I just said that I was out exploring on my own, and it just, it was a complicated situation. Anyway, so basically in the times that I was spending with this guy, our boat happened to like hit something. I guess it was something like an iceberg, or I don't exactly know all of the details, but I was pretty close to it when it hit. Like I heard the bang and I thought it was like, it didn't sound like a gunshot, but like that's all you could think of, right? Like, and I didn't know the sound, but I guess our boat hit something, and it got to a very scary point where our boat just started to sink. I mean, it was going down. It was yelling timber, like, you know, and basically, long story short, the boat was, you know, hit so hard that it ended up like upright. And I mean, it was the scariest time of my life. Like, I couldn't explain to you how scared I was. And sorry. Yeah, so it was just really scary, and the boat ended up going down, and I was on it, and that was tough. It's really tough. And I was with this guy the entire time, the guy that I'd clicked with, until the time the boat was sinking and I was separated, and all of these boats were taking people off of the boat, the moms and children. My mom had luckily gotten off onto another boat and been safe, but I hadn't, because I was refusing to go on to any boat until I found the guy that I had clicked with so much, till I had been with him. I refused. My boyfriend was trying to get me to go on. I didn't want to. I just wanted to find him. So I went off and I tried everything in my power to find him, and I did. So after I had found him, we were trying to find a boat to get onto, to get off of this freaking boat that was sinking, and we couldn't get a boat. Cruise ship ended up sinking, going down as we were on the tip of it. And that is the coldest water I have ever been in my entire life. It was freezing. It was below freezing. And I found myself being able to have something to float on. But I mean, there was people dying around me. I was holding on so tight to this guy's hand that I loved so much. I knew that I loved him at this point. I mean, we had clicked, we got each other, we understood each other, and now we were facing death together. I mean, things escalated quickly in a lot of different ways. So we're lying in the middle of this ocean. And I tried so hard to hold on for as long as possible to his hand. You know, I told him I'd never let go. But as soon as a rescue boat came, hours and hours and hours after everything had happened and the boat had went down and people had quieted, things got quiet and things got eerie. And I was holding on to his hand the whole time. And when the lifeboat was coming, when the boat was finally coming to get us, I yelled his name. get up, get up. It's a boat, it's a boat. It's coming to save us. And he didn't answer. I told him I'd never let go, but I had to let him go. He was gone. And I mean, I let go and I got onto the boat and I'm okay now, but it was the scariest thing ever. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a great big thumbs up. If you liked my little rendition of the story of the Titanic, be sure to let me know down in the comments below, as well as liking and subscribing for more videos similar to this. Also let me know that in the comments below. If you guys want any more story times like this, then again, let me know in the comments below. I love your feedback and I need it. I appreciate you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! A reaction to my very first video. The hair, like, why didn't I think that I would like to style my hair in some cute way? Like, oh man.